Today we're going to be doing area of a rhombus and area of a kite. So it is not in your textbook. Alright, so the work I'm going to give you for homework is going to be out of another textbook, and I'll put that on Google Classroom for you. Okay, so we have the area of a rhombus and an area of a kite. You first have to know what those shapes are. So a rhombus has 4 equal sides. Now you might say a square has 4 equal sides, but a square also has 4 right angles. On a rhombus, it's like a square that's been pushed over. So you can write that down if you like. It's like we've pushed the square over a little bit, and that gets rid of the right angle, so we're still left with our 4 equal sides. A kite looks like a kite that you would see in the sky. It has 2 pairs of equal adjacent sides. Now what that means is, adjacent means next to. So the house adjacent to yours would be the house next door, the one next to you. So the sides that are adjacent would be, if it's looking at this side, it's this one here, because they're next to each other. Alright, and these two are also next to each other. I know you might be saying, well, so are these, but we're only looking at 2 pairs of sides that are adjacent. So once we've got one pair marked with equal markings, that's one pair of adjacent sides equal. And here, marked with another set of equal markings, is your second pair of adjacent sides equal. So it just looks like a kite in the sky. So both of these shapes have the same formula for area. So you only have to learn one formula for these. And this is the formula. It's area equals a half xy. Or a half times x times y. Make sure those time signs are in. So A equals the area, that's what we're finding. X and y are the 2 diagonal lengths, the whole length of the diagonal. So when we talk about a diagonal, we're talking about a line that goes from one corner of the shape to the opposite corner of the shape. Okay? So, we're going to have a look at some examples here. And it says find the area, so make sure you underline it, because when you do your formative task, some of them will say find the perimeter, and you don't want to get them mixed up. Perimeter is around the outside, add up all your sides. Area is the space inside, and they all have their own formula. Okay, so this shape here has been marked with 4 equal sides, so we know this is a rhombus. So we're going to write down the area formula for the rhombus, which is A equals a half times x times y. Now, if you look at it, going from one corner here to the opposite corner, that whole thing there is called a diagonal. So we want the length of all of that, and they've told you that that is 18 metres. So we're going to put a half times, and our first diagonal is 18, times, now our second diagonal is coming from the other corner to its opposite corner. And that length there, they told you was 7. So we're going to put a 7 in for the y. So now if you do your calculator, half times 18 times 7, you'll get 63. Then on the end, you write metres and squared for area. All right, let's look at number 2. Okay, so we're doing, this is a kite, because we have one pair of adjacent sides equal here, and up here, next to each other, another pair of adjacent sides equal. So we're going to put our formula down for the area of a kite, which is A equals a half times x times y. Now, we're looking at our diagonals. So this diagonal that goes from here to here, they've shown you that one by putting it over here. So if you can imagine, you take these 2 points and move out a bit, they're telling you that that diagonal length is 10. And the other one going from here to here, they've told you is 8. So, in our formula, we're going to write down what they've said there, which is a half times 10 times 8. Okay, so we go to our calculator. So remember, when you're putting this in your calculator, we're starting with our fraction key, that one. Oops, better fix my calculator up. Been doing statistics with the other class. Okay, we'll start again. All right, so we're going to press the fraction key, Now we want to do a half, so we're doing 1, down arrow, 2, right arrow out of your fraction. We're up to here now. So now we're doing times 10 times 8, times 10 times 8. Then you can press your equals key, and we get 40. And on the end, it's going to be centimetres for our units and squared because it's area. All right, let's look at the next one. Now, don't get caught out on these. So we're looking at it. It is a rhombus because it's got 4 equal sides. So we put our formula down. A equals a half times x times y. Now, our diagonal lengths. If we look at the diagonal from here to here, we've got to do 5 plus 5. So we have 10 for that diagonal. So I'm just going to write that in as 10. So we're doing 5 plus 5 equals 10. All right, the other one, going this way, is going to be 3 plus 3. And if we add those up, that gives you 6. So we're going to put in here times 6. So remember that when you put your numbers into the calculator, they must be the full diagonal lengths that you're putting in, not just half of it. So if you do that on your calculator, fraction key first, 1, down arrow, 2, right arrow, times 10 times 6, you will get 30. It's millimetres this time, and its area is squared. All right, looking at the next one. Well, this time we have a kite. Sorry, I forgot to put this on. All right, so we can see it's a kite. It's got 2 pairs of adjacent sides equal to each other. So let's have a look. We've got our formula. Half times x times y. Area equals a half times x times y. Now, let's have a look at our diagonal lengths here. So if we have a look at this one going along here, from here to here, that's going to be 2 plus 5.4. So if you use your calculator and add that up, you'll get 7.4. So that's one of our diagonal lengths. So we're going to write a half times 7.4 times. Now the other one, if you're looking at this direction, from here to here, we've got 1.9 plus 1.9. And if you use your calculator to add those up, you're going to get 3.8. And we're going to put that number in here now. Okay, so we're going to get our calculator, type in fraction key, 1, down arrow, 2, right arrow, times 7.4, times 3.8, and equals 14.06. Centimetres this time, and it's squared for area. All right, we're going to go and do a few other questions over here, which you have to think a little bit more about. Okay, so number 5. Sorry, I forgot to put my markings on. We'll do that now. All right, so we know it's a kite because it has 2 pairs of adjacent sides equal to each other. Here's one pair equal, and here's the other pair equal. So we write our formula for a kite down. Area equals a half times x times y. And then we're going to work out our diagonal lengths. Remember, it has to be the whole diagonal. So if we have a look over here, we're going from the top to the bottom. So we're going to do 4 plus 20. If you add those together, you'll get 24. So we're going to do a half, follow your formula, times 24 times. Now, this other one here, all they've told you from here to here is 7. And they've told you nothing over here. Well, a kite is symmetrical. If I said to you about that shape, can you tell me how many axes of symmetry it has? draw it in. There's really only one. Okay, so if I draw it over here, the only axis of symmetry this shape has is straight through the middle. Right, that's called an axis of symmetry. Now, what does an axis of symmetry do? Well, an axis of symmetry acts like a mirror. So if that's going to act like a mirror, one half of it's going to reflect onto the other half. So if this is 7 from here to here, from the line, the mirror, to here, then from the mirror to the reflection over here will also be 7. So I can write that in as 7 as well. Those two bits there will be equal to each other. So I can now say that that one there is going to be 7 plus another 7, and that will be 14 for that diagonal. So I'm going to put that 14 in there now. So now you're going to go to your calculator and type it in. You know how to do this now, just type it in. So it's fraction key, 1, down arrow, 2, right arrow, times 24, times 14, and you get 168 centimetres and squared. Okay, now we're coming to one where it's just words. Now, if they give you anything to do with just words and they talk about a shape, you need to draw it. So, it says A, B, C, D is a rhombus. So, we draw a rhombus. So, we know a rhombus looks like that. It's got 4 equal sides. So, now we've drawn the rhombus. Now, when they name a shape in maths, if they say A, B, C, D, you can put your A anywhere you like on one of these corners. It doesn't matter. Let me just say I'm going to put mine here, but it doesn't matter where the A goes. It does matter what happens after that though. So it has to be named in a cyclic order, right? So this is named in a cyclic order. Now what that means is you have to continue going around the shape without lifting up your finger, right? So I can go like this. Or I might decide to go the other way and go like this. It doesn't matter as long as you keep going the same direction with your letters. So I might decide I'm going this way. So keep going around the shape. And now I've put all my letters on. Now I read the rest of it. Because if you don't do it like that, you're going to have everything in a mess. All right, what a lot of people do is this sort of thing. They go A, B, C, D. And that's wrong, right? We're not doing that, so get rid of that. All right, now we're going to mark everything else on. So it says AC equals 15. So that means going from A to C, get the other colour, from A to C is 15 kilometres. Okay, then it says from B to D, BD, it's 12. B to D is 12. Now that you've got everything where it should be, you can start the formula. So we know it's a rhombus, and we know the area formula is area equals a half times x times y. All right, so let's put everything in. We've got a half times one diagonal, 15, times the other diagonal, 12. And now we're going to our calculator. So we'll do a half times 15 times 12, and you will end up with 90 kilometres squared. Okay, so that's enough examples for today. I've given you a few where they're a little bit trickier, but you need to know this formula. If you get into your next formative task and you don't know the formula or how to recognise the shape, you will be in trouble, okay? You won't be able to do the question. So make sure you know the formula, and the only way you're going to get better at this is to practice it. So as I said, it's not in your textbook. So what I'm going to do with this video, I'm also going to attach a worksheet which will be on Google Classroom as well with this video, and you can do your homework from there. Okay, good luck.